Hi, welcome to this SQL tutorial video, and today we're going to look at nested selects and variables. So we're going to use nested selects in our conditions so that we can use selects in our selects to get a subset of data. Then we're going to look at variables in order to make it easy when we need to change values within our selects. So on screen I've got a table called clients. Now, in a legal firm, you would have a client that comes in and needs some work doing. The client would have a record, and then for that piece of work, a matter will be created or a case. So you have a client table, then you have a matter table or a case table. And then as you're working on the case or the matter table, you would record time or you will put expenses against clients and matters. All of those are in separate tables. So first of all, here I've got a client table. And it's got 5 clients in. This is just a test example. Then I've got a matter table, which has matters, and this links to the client table with the client ID linking to the ID of the client. So if I want to see the matters for a particular client, what we can say is, well, first of all, let's see the information for a particular client. So let's say where cl.id or cl.name equals client2. So there's our client2, and if I want to see the matters for that client, there's a couple of ways of doing it. So first of all, what I could say is, now I know there's the ID is 2, I can say select star from where ma.client ID equals 2, or I could do something a little bit better, I think, where I can say where the client ID, and instead of equals, I can say instead of equals 2, I can say equals, and then I can do this. So I'm just going to copy my script above. I'm just going to put it on one line just because I've got limited space. What this is expecting here, this client ID is a number, and what this select as it is at the minute is it will return a lot of data, more data than I need. Actually, all I'm interested in is that value there. So I'm going to say get me the ID. So now the result of this select here will return an ID, a number, and that's what I want to use with my select. Okay, then I can say select star from, and I've got a table called time, and I can say where the matter ID equals, and then I can copy that, or maybe I can just say I can build it within the brackets and say where ma.name equals matter B, and that will do the same thing. Okay, so because I didn't change that, so that needs to be the ID. Let's see if that works. All right, that's good. So we can use nested selects to kind of to filter our data in other tables. Now, if I change this to be client 5, we need to, there's a slight gotcha here. So in a client table, there's only ever going to be one client called client 5 in my table. So doing this here will work because this subquery is only ever going to return one value. However, client 5, if I were to change this in here so that now if I just run that subquery, it's going to return that. I'm only interested in the IDs, so I'm going to do ID. This is now going to return me 3 values. So when I try and run my query against my timetable where the matter ID is here, is this, I'm going to get an error because I've put equals, and equals is a one-to-one condition. So if I say this equals this, it's going to be 1 equals 1, or I can't do equals and then potentially have more than one value. So I need to say in, and that should fix the issue. So what this is saying is, get me everything from the timetable where the matter ID is in one of these 3 results here. And I can do the same thing with the expenses table. So if I just copy that and I change this to be expenses EX, and just for completeness, if I just run that, then you can see the expenses against the matter IDs that are 5, 7 and 9, which are the results of this subset. Now that's all very good, but all right, now I need information from client 3. So okay, I'm going to change that to 3, and I'm going to change that to 3, and I'm going to change that to 3, and change that to 3, and now if I run that, I get the information I want. And now if I want to change it to client 4, I've got to change them all again. So what I want to do is I want to create a variable to store this information here. So first of all, the variable I want is used against this name field in the client's client table. So I need to know that. But also when I am let me think. So creating a variable is just like a place of information. It just stores a bit of data. So you create a variable using the declare keyword, and you say declare, then a variable's got to have an @ sign at the beginning, and then you give it some sort of unique name. So I'm going to call it client name, and then you've got to give it a data type. So a variable can store dates, numbers, text. It can be a table itself. There's lots and lots of different data types with variables, but as a basic variable, it's going to be a number, a date, or text. So in this case, it's going to be text. But what I want to do is I want my variable to match the data type of the column that I'm referencing it with. So if I just go to my table here on the left, if I go to columns, my name column is a varchar 40 data type. So I'm going to make my variable varchar 40. Oops. And then I can, at the point of me declaring a variable, I can give it a value here. So if I run that, I ain't using the variable yet, but if I run that, nothing's going to change. But now what I can do is I can take each of these hard-coded client 3 references and change them to say, all right, instead of the name being client 3, the name is going to be whatever data is in this variable. So if I just run that, we should get the same data. But to prove that it works, if I change this to 5, we get a lot more data now. If I change it to 1, we should get a lot less data. So nothing's been recorded against 1. So that's nice, nice and neat. If I didn't want to give the value at the point of declaration, I can do other bits of coding, and then later I can say set client name equals, and then give it a value. Oops. So you do the set command in order to assign the variable a value if you're not going to do it at the point of declaring it. That does the same thing. I've done other videos on variables, and I'll put links to those videos in the description of this one. The purpose of this was really to kind of show you, yes, you start building nested selects, but then if you need to kind of change the values in your nested selects, it's possibly sensible to create a variable, and that will make your life a little bit easier. That's the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you've got any feedback or comments, that'd be appreciated. Thanks a lot for your time. See you next time.